what's up? It's your best friend in beauty here, Aquia Robinson, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 reasons why I think every beauty professional needs to apply for grants. If you have been seeking out funding for your business and possibly stumbled across grants and are wondering, like, are grants really for me? Do I belong here? Then make sure you stay tuned because I may just have the answer to your question. Alright y'all, so this video is part 2 in my series about grant funding. In part 1, I shared with you how I received a $10,000 grant for my business and just how I found that grant. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you why I think you should be applying for grants. Because when I talk to some of my friends in beauty and I share certain opportunities with them, someone had literally asked me why should I be applying for grants? Like, why is this for me? And I got the answer to that question. So I'm gonna keep this very, very simple. And this is just all my opinion based off of the process that I have been going through with applying for grants. The first reason why I think every single beauty professional should apply for grants is the obvious. Number 1 is it's free money, okay? It's free money. I will go into like a Q&A on the next part of the series about like some commonly asked questions. But one of the commonly asked questions, I'll get to it right now, is like, do I have to pay this back? And the answer is no. It's a grant. It's not a loan. It's a grant. So this is absolutely free money that you do not have to pay back. Once you receive the grant, unless there are like some kind of special guidelines and stuff like that. But most grants, y'all, you do not have to pay that money back. So that's just like a no-brainer. It's free money, like free money for your business that you can take to do whatever you need to do with it. The second one is, in my opinion, why every single beauty professional needs to apply for grants is because it just takes a lot of the financial strain off of you, especially if you are a full-time makeup artist, hairstylist, esthetician, wherever you land in the beauty industry, especially if you are full-time and you do not have another income coming in. Grants will help you out tremendously. And even if you do have a 9-to-5, still apply for grants. You can use all the money you can get. But just from my experience with being a makeup artist and having friends in beauty, the community, having the Friends in Beauty podcast, doing events, all of the things that I do that fall under the umbrella of me as a creative all come from my personal money. So the money that I'm making from doing my clients, or if I even profit from an event, which most times I don't, everything is coming from me doing everything. So just the fact that I can have this grant money over here, just for example, the $10,000 grant that I just received, I could take this $10,000 now and just focus all of this money on my business without having to worry about, okay, I got to do this many clients to get this money to pay my bills, to pay my business expenses, to invest in a course that I want to take, to throw an event, to pay an editor for the podcast. It's just so much. It's just so many moving parts to it. So number 1, free money. Number 2, it just takes off the financial strain. So anything that you can think of pertaining to your business, you can use a grant for. So the third reason why I think all beauty professionals need to apply for grants is the networking opportunities and the coaching/mentorship. Not all grants come with this, but some grants do come with some kind of mentorship program, and some grants do come with like multiple winners. So for example, in my case, the $10,000 grant that I just received from NAACP and L'Oreal. There's a cohort of us. It's like at least, I want to say 20 to 25 of us. And when we had our kickoff call, all of us were on that call with like some of the leaders from Salon Centric and some of the team from Salon Centric. We get to network, we get to meet one another. They're also going to have like an in-person event for us to like build our business. And like throughout the program, it's like we're going to get like, I keep saying like, but throughout the program, we're going to get calls with different beauty industry leaders just to talk about our businesses and stuff like that. So some grants do come with those opportunities where there's a program involved with it, and you can also continue to learn and implement new strategies into your business and stuff like that for pretty much free. It's free because like you didn't have to pay any money to apply for the grant. And that's one thing too that I'll talk about in the application process too. try to avoid the grants that you gotta pay like a fee for. But yes, like networking and coaching, mentorship opportunities with top industry leaders, and then also with the people who have like proven that their business is strong enough to like receive these grants as well. Top tier, okay? Top tier. You need to apply. All right, so reason number 4 why I think all beauty professionals need to apply for grants, and this is just from my personal experience, is just you get so much clarity on your brand. Oh my gosh. Throughout the application process with me applying for these grants, they tend to ask the same questions over again, but it really makes you dig deep into like your why for your business. Like some commonly asked questions on grant applications will ask you like to tell us about your business, like who do you serve, like what are your challenges, stuff like that. And then it really just makes you think about the ins and outs of your business and being able to articulate that, because most of the times we have it all up here. Like if you don't have a business plan, or if you've never had to answer these kind of particular questions about your business, they ask you about like your core values. Like this, like a lot of the questions are the same, but then some of them are different. But it really does give you clarity. At least it did for me. It really gave me clarity on my brand, because I know what Friends in Beauty is. I know what we do, and I know who I serve. But being able to articulate that like verbally and write it down so that somebody else can catch the vibe is a whole different ball game. So I really feel like applying for grants is really going to help you get so much clarity on what your business does, who you serve, and like what the overall vision is. And just to get that out into the world, it just feels so rewarding. And then to actually win because somebody else is catching that vibe that you're putting down for your business, like I love it. I love it here. And the last reason number 5, why I think all beauty professionals need to apply for grants is like kind of like the obvious reasons too, is like just the business growth. Like I mentioned before, all of those big ideas, and I know you have them because I have them, all of those big ideas that you have for your business, and you're always wondering like I am, how am I gonna pay for this? Okay, how am I gonna pay for a Friends in Beauty tour? How am I gonna continue to, do these events? How am I gonna expand my educational offerings? How am I gonna grow my community? I need to invest in ads. I need to invest in this. Like all of those things, you can use grants to, you can use that grant money to fund your business. So business growth is like one of the reasons why you should absolutely apply for grants. If you've been feeling stagnant, or you just kind of just feel like there's never enough money to go around, there's never enough money to go around for every single endeavor that you want to do, start applying for some grants. Get this free money, okay? There's so many organizations out there who are just so generous and have been pouring back into the, the beauty community or just small businesses in general. So make sure you start applying for some grants so you can take away that financial strain and you can actually start doing the things that's going to move the needle in your business, okay? All right, so let's talk about the grant application process really quickly. So I will do another video just sharing some resources for where to find grants and how to apply for them. But just from my experience so far with applying for grants, the application process is not hard. In my humble opinion, it has not been hard. There's some, like I mentioned before, there are some, most of the time when you're applying for these grants, they're asking you the same questions over and over again, or they might have something else that's a little bit different. And then depending on the grant, you may have to tweak your answers just a little bit. But the application process really isn't that hard. What you will have to do for each grant is just to read the, I forget what it's called, the terms and conditions, or something like, the qualifications. Just read the qualifications just to make sure that you qualify. Some grants do require that you have an LLC, and some grants do not require that you have an LLC. Some grants require that you make a certain amount of money in a year, and some grants don't care how much money you make, okay? It really just depends, but for the most part, many of us qualify to apply for these grants. You have to be 18 and older, live in the United States or one of their territories, and you just have to read what the qualifications are. So of course I don't qualify for every single grant that I come across, but for the most part you should be looking for grants that's like small business grants, If you're a woman or identify as a woman, look for women entrepreneur grants. Look for beauty related grants. There's so many different areas of grants that you could be looking for, but I will go deeper into that when I share the resources. So like I said, the application process is not hard. What I tend to like to do is just keep a folder or like a note on my computer, on my phone, and answer those commonly asked questions that you'll see all the time. And you'll know what I mean when you start applying for grants. You'll see them, and just keep those answers handy so that when you're applying for grants, it could be like a really quick process. Okay, so I hope that this answered your questions. I hope that this is kind of getting you pumped up for the grant application process. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for me. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing some resources. So every time that I find a grant, I'm just going to keep adding on to this list so I can share it with you. So make sure you stay tuned for that video. If you want to hear about me winning that $10,000 grant and watch the reaction video to that, make sure you check out part 1 of this series and give this video a thumbs up. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have another reason why you think that beauty professionals should apply for grants, leave it down below, or just share any takeaways from this video if you want me to cover something else in this series. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I'm used to doing my podcast. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure you are following Friends in Beauty on all social media platforms and join my email list, because that's typically where I share resources that I find, like the grant that I won. I share that on my email list and on Instagram. So make sure you're following Friends in Beauty, and also follow Aquia Robinson. That's my personal page. Make sure you tap into the Friends in Beauty Trailblazers Club, because I share grants weekly inside of the Trailblazers Club, and there's some other trailblazers that have been finding some great opportunities for grants, and they drop it inside of the Trailblazers Club community as well. Make sure you tune into the Friends in Beauty podcast. I release episodes every single Wednesday with top beauty industry professionals, just giving us the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry. All right, so stay tuned for the rest of the videos in this series. I'll be covering some commonly asked questions, some resources, and then also like what do I do after I receive this money responsibly. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.